Brother host was over there. Camera runs.
And now, as if by magic...
Here. I was just thinking, that gave me a little bit of PTSD. We used to get so much trouble when we were in the Camerons on Liverpool.
If you got rumbled?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got rumbled last night. It was the first time I've ever been officially...
Danny saw you?
They all saw us. It's because I go in there with David Potts. He's a lot of things, but stealthy isn't one of them.
We used to get rumbled, and then we'd sort of kill ourselves we didn't get caught, so we'd come out, we'd go, I think we're all right. I don't think many people saw it. And then you walk back into the gallery who were watching everything all the time, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. They could see us, they could hear us. But guys, what a whirlwind it has been in the Big Brother house over the last 48 hours or so. It's been, I'm going to give you the chronology of it. So first things first, Michael Fabricant was the first to leave the Big Brother house via the normal means. He was evicted on Friday night. He was a great housemate, and he's going to be on the sofa in a little bit. I think you guys are going to be chatting to him as well. But the big news really over the weekend was on Saturday, Mickey Rouke was asked to leave the Celebrity Big Brother house due to a few instances of him crossing the line, inappropriate language, inappropriate behaviour, and his time was up, effectively. But to kind of go through that, we need to go back to Wednesday, OK? Now, he was a controversial character right from the start.
From day one.
From day one. Even his entrance into the house caused a bit of a stir. But on Wednesday, he made some really inappropriate comments to one of the young housemates, Jojo Siwa. It was really well handled by her at the time, but it was a really difficult thing.
I mean,
for
it
her
really
to have
upset
to
her,
deal
didn't
with.
it?
Yeah.
It really upset her, and it triggered an official warning from Big Brother. So let's take a look at what he said and how that was dealt with by Big Brother.
If I stay longer than 4 days, you won't be gay anymore.
I can guarantee I will still be gay, and I will still be in a very happy relationship.
I'm going to vote the lesbian out real quick.
So that's homophobic, if that was your reasoning.
Big Brother thinks your language was offensive and unacceptable. As a result, Big Brother is giving you a formal warning.
Didn't mean it in any bad intentions, and if I did, sorry. Just my sense of humor, I guess.
So he clearly crossed the line. It was really inappropriate. Jojo shouldn't have to deal with that.
Sure.
Jojo did deal with it really well. I mean, throughout this whole thing, Jojo has been amazing in every way. She's a great housemate.
Yeah.
Super mature, really wise. And Mickey did apologise to her. And it did seem like a genuine apology. And actually, the two of them after it seemed to... They started to get on quite well. They became quite close. But let's have a look at his apology.
You got your slippers.
I want to apologize.
Thank you.
I just got a bad habit of having a short fuse. And I don't mean nothing by it.
I appreciate your apology.
Okay, I do mean it.
So
there's genuine remorse there.
There was
what I don't
remorse.
get about it. It just
Yeah.
feels like he always can't help himself.
Well, that was the thing. And actually, the tricky thing for a lot of the housemates was that he would do and say things that weren't OK.
Yeah.
But also show that he's not a bad guy all the way through. Do you know what I mean? And it was quite difficult. I know Danny struggled with that, Danny Beard in the house a lot, because he was like, he's doing these things which I find abhorrent, but I feel a bit sorry for him. I know he's had a really difficult life in some ways. You talked a bit about his trauma as a child. You know, you kind of, part of you wanted to put your arm around him and be like, don't be like that. Like, we can kind of educate him together.
In a weird way, this is what Big Brother is.
Exactly.
It's a reflection on society, which is not black and white. It's nuanced and it's grey.
And it's people using language that they don't necessarily understand, language that makes people feel a certain way, and they might not be aware of that. So that was kind of the hope. But unfortunately,
What went wrong?
Mickey, he crossed the line again. OK, so
Were you surprised? Like, because you see, you know, when you host, you see a lot more, don't you?
I was
everything's a bit more
surprised.
unfiltered.
Look, it was his exit was unplanned, but not entirely unexpected.
Yeah, sure.
Just because it's an extreme environment in there, and if Mickey is prone to certain types of behaviour, then, you know, I guess there's always the danger, but you don't really know how people are going to react in that situation, right? And I think where I was surprised was that he crossed the line again so quickly.
What happened? What did he do?
And the way that it happened. So there were two instances on Saturday. So first of all, he he got threatening. He threatened Chris Hughes with kind of physical violence, basically, which was totally out of proportion. They were all dressed as pirates, just messing around in a task. I can't repeat exactly what Mickey said, but it was bad.
Yeah.
And it made not just Chris. You know, Chris handled it very well, but it made the rest of the house feel vulnerable, a bit scared. But sadly, that day as well, he also said some stuff, which again I can't repeat, that was totally inappropriate to Ella Ray Wise, and sexual stuff that we're not going to get into now,
oh my goodness,
but made her feel understandably vulnerable, right? And that was the point where you've got to go.
I really hope he watches it back and maybe takes something and learns from it.
Well, look, we do have the moment where he was asked to leave and his reaction to it, so let's take a look.
Big Brother considers your language and behaviour today to be seriously unacceptable, and as a result, Big Brother has no option but to ask you to leave the Big Brother house.
I blame myself. I know it was my bad. You know, I got a short fuse, and I know I upset a lot of people out there, you know. I'm actually ashamed of myself for getting that hot. I went over the line. You know, I did wrong. I guess I could say I'm a work in progress.
Well, as he says himself, he recognised he went over the line. He's embarrassed by his own behaviour. He said that, and he described himself as a work in progress. And I think we can all agree that, you know, hopefully he will learn from it. And I think, as a lot of the housemates said, and he's not like an evil man. Do you know what I mean? He just behaved in a way that is just not right when you're living in a house with people, and it's supposed to be it's an entertainment show at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the very first evictee to leave the Big Brother house is our Michael Fabricant, and so lovely to have you on the sofa.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? You've been evicted.
I know, well, I was a bit sad to be evicted, but when I was up against two superstars, I was up against...
Well, you're a star yourself.
You
I
are,
thought you were
now.
great. You were so good in there. I was so disappointed to see you go.
Well, you know, I was up against Jack from Corrie, so this is me making excuses. Corrie fans were all voting for Jack, who's a lovely guy. And then, of course, there's the Mickey Rouke people who supported him, A, because he really is a big star, and B, they were thinking, my God, what's the guy going to do next?
Yeah.
And he was completely unpredictable. I mean, I must tell you that I volunteered right at the very beginning to be what I called Torchy the Battery Boy. Now, older viewers will remember, if I can demonstrate, Torchy, Torchy, the battery boy.
That's right.
I'm a walking, talking toy.
Yeah.
And that was a pre-runner by the famous Jerry and Sylvia Anderson crew who made Thunderbirds a go. And Fireball XL5.
You
Anyway,
volunteered to
my
do that.
job was to replace the batteries on the radio mics every morning, every evening.
I forgot about that. Do you remember you had to change the battery?
Mickey would sleep with all his clothes on, would sleep on the couch. He didn't want to get into a bed.
He didn't like the bed, did he?
And I would pull out his radio mic because he was still half asleep and was covered in chocolate, melted chocolate.
No.
Mickey was on another planet for the whole TV
So he was
show,
keeping chocolate in his back pocket?
along with the radio mic. So, you know, trying to prise it open and get
So what, do you think he was
battery in.
stealing the chocolate?
I don't know where he got the
getting
chocolate from.
Where's he getting the chocolate from?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he smuggled it into the Big Brother house. But the point of the story is he was always on another planet. Told me on Monday that he was going to be out on Thursday. And when Jack said to him, well, is it in your contract? And he goes, hey, man, I never read no contracts. It's what my agent told me. I mean,
so how did you feel when you saw him be inappropriate and that behaviour? What was you...
Well, he was always on another planet. I mean, he seemed to forget where the diary room was. He thought we were talking about a dining room. I can't see
That was on the first day, yeah. I don't think he was massively au fait with the nuts and bolts session.
I think that is the biggest understatement.
He wasn't necessarily a BB superfan beforehand.
That is an understatement.
Unlike you, I'm assuming.
Oh, yes, I watched it all the time.
There we go.
But you really enjoyed it in there, didn't you?
I loved it. You know, I went in prejudiced and thought, I'm going to have to endure it day by day. How can I stand this? In fact, I loved the people. Danny and I became really close.
Yeah.
Which would not be. Well, I mean, I loved him, and I hope to see him again.
But he said in the beginning, I wasn't quite sure about you, and then you loved him.
Yeah. Well, he's got this thing about I'm hugging a Tory. I can't believe I'm doing it. And no, he was a lovely guy. They were all lovely. I really, really liked them, and they were friends. And you get institutionalised, you know. You sort of. And then going back last night into the garden. I got quite teary at one point because I remembered sunbathing with Jack. You saw a little bit of it there when he was shouting a nasty word at Jojo. That was Mickey was shouting, and it was very sad for me to go back in, really.
Definitely, but I think...
And I was dying. I was banging on the window.
He was literally trying to break back in.
I was saying, let me in.
That's why they saw you.
Yeah. But I think that you had a great experience in there, but I think now that Mickey's gone, I think that it's going to be... I think we're going to see more drama. I think we're going to see more division. So maybe it wouldn't have been plain sailing after.
Yeah, I think so. I could see Chris getting a bit irritated with someone because they hadn't worn the outfit all the time and had lost points. So I thought, well, maybe I'm...
Michael, we loved you on
us, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Celebrity Big Brother's on tonight, 9 p.m. on ITV1.
Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.